let's be real for a second. A huge chunk of our workday is just a frustrating scavenger hunt, right? We're not talking about some fun game here. We're talking about that endless, soul-crushing search for that one document you desperately need. So today, we're going to look at a new kind of AI tool. It's not here to write you a sonnet. It's here to fix this really broken part of our work lives. Let's jump in.
Oh, you know this feeling. We've all been there. You know for a fact that document exists. You probably even looked at it yesterday. But now, poof, it's vanished. So you start digging through emails, scrolling endlessly through Slack channels, checking shared drives. You're pinging colleagues, interrupting their day, all for one little piece of information. It's this daily, maddening ritual.
And really, this gets to the absolute heart of the problem. That frantic search, it isn't just a small annoyance, it is a massive productivity drain. I mean, think about it. We hire smart, creative people to solve complex problems, and yet, how much of their day, how much of their brain power is just wasted playing digital hide-and-seek? So, let's zoom out a bit. What does this information hunt look like on a bigger scale? Because this isn't just about one person looking for one file. Nope, this is a systemic drag on the entire organization.
And the main culprit here is something we call information silos. Just picture it. The company's big strategy is sitting in a Google Doc, but the really important conversations about that strategy, they're buried in a dozen Slack threads. The project plan itself is in Notion, the specific tasks are in Jira, and all the crucial client feedback is locked away in an email chain. It's like every piece of the puzzle is on a totally different island, and we're left trying to piece it all together.
And the fallout from these silos? It's pretty severe. Processes just grind to a halt. Productivity tanks because we're constantly jumping between 10 different apps, which completely shatters our focus every single time. And maybe the most dangerous part? Decisions get delayed. Because how can our leaders make good calls when they're working with a map that's torn into 100 pieces?
But what if you could actually build bridges between all those little islands of information? Let's take a look at the solution that's been built to tackle this exact problem head-on. So meet MSA, which stands for Multi-Search Assistant. Now, this isn't just another fancy search bar. Think of it more like a really smart assistant for your whole company. It plugs into all your internal data, finds the answers you're looking for, and then, and this is the absolute game changer, it actually does stuff with that information.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's pretty simple. First, you connect all the apps your company is already using every day. Second, you just ask a question in plain English, just like you'd ask a coworker. And third, you get back not just a link, but a straight-up answer and the ability to take action right then and there.
And when we say it connects to your key systems, we're talking about the entire digital nervous system of your company. We mean your documents in Google Drive, your wikis in Notion, those conversations in Slack or Teams, your tickets in Jira, all your customer info in your CRM, and yep, even your emails. It taps into all the places where your work actually gets done.
Okay, now let's get to the really juicy part. This is the core of what makes this technology so different. It's not just a small improvement, it's a fundamental shift in how we interact with all our work tools.
This whole category of tech even has a name. It's called the Enterprise AI Search and Action Layer. And I want you to pay close attention to those two key words. Search, which is what we're all used to, and action, which is where the revolution happens.
And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. See, the old way, enterprise search, it would find you a link to a 10-page report. The new way, with MSA, it actually reads and summarizes that report for you. The old way finds an old support ticket. The new way helps you create a new one. It doesn't just point you to a conversation, it actually drafts the meeting summary for you. You see? It's the leap from just finding to actually doing.
So, the big question is, what does all this really mean for a business in the real world? What's the actual tangible benefit here?
Well, the payoff is huge. We're talking about a 30 to 40% reduction in the time your team spends on all those boring, repetitive tasks. Searching for things, creating documents, coordinating information. Just stop and think for a second what your team could do with nearly half their time back. That's not just an efficiency boost. That's a catalyst for real innovation.
Okay, so you might be wondering, is this for us? Well, if you're a small to medium-sized business, say between 100 and 500 employees, especially in tech, SaaS, or service industries, then the answer is a big yes. And if your job is in operations, HR, project management, sales, or support, you're going to be the ones who feel that sweet relief first.
Geographically speaking, the initial focus is really centered on some key European markets. We're looking at the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, and France, with Poland also shaping up to be an important area.
All right, let's zoom out one last time and just see where a tool like MSA fits into the bigger picture, the whole landscape of AI in the workplace.
Now, MSA isn't the only AI tool out there, of course. You've got fantastic search tools like Glean. Think of them as super-powered librarians. You also have co-pilots like Coworker, which are like deep experts in one specific app. MSA is different. It's more like that multi-talented assistant who can not only find information from anywhere, but can then act on it. And all with a setup so simple you won't need an army of IT people to get it running.
And all of this brings us to one final, really interesting question. We started this by talking about all the time we waste just searching for stuff. But when an AI can not only find that information instantly, but can also do the routine tasks that go along with it, well, that frees us up for something more. So the real question is this: when your AI can do the work, what will you do?